Yeah, I was an extremely happy guy the last time I was in here, so I remember the seat pretty well. It was in the same spot, I think. That win meant the world to me. It was certainly a pretty special place to get a first win here at Darlington, and the way that we did it with the old tires and things like that. This is a track that I've always enjoyed racing at right from the first time I came here. I still remember the first time I came here standing over in turn two and looking at the time the grandstands with the roof were still sitting over there and just thinking, man, this is old school here. This place has got a lot of history, and never anticipated that we would get our first win with Furniture Row Racing or myself here, but couldn't have picked a better place. Really made it extra special to do it here.
All right, we'll take some questions for Regan. If you have some, raise your hand. We've got a mic runner here from Richmond, and then Lauren back here in the left. So raise your hand high and identify yourselves, name, affiliation, if we can. One question per person at each time. Jenna's got a question. Bring her the microphone.
Hi, Jenna Fryer, AP. Can you talk about the win last year? Just your thoughts, what it was like, what those final laps were like, your emotions, and sort of the high that you take coming out of here.
Yeah, well, the final laps were, I was really calm. For whatever reason, I was, normally I'm a little bit more of an uptight person, a little wound up, and when it comes to being in the race car. And I was super calm. I think the main reason I was so calm is after everybody pitted and we stayed out and we got the lead, I thought we were racing for second or third. I assumed that the guys that got tires, at least a couple of them, would get up there to us. And, I just said, well, if we get a good restart, we'll get second or third, which is better than where we would have been. I think we're going to probably finish right around fifth or sixth otherwise, had that caution not come out the way the field was strung out at the time. So, I was perfectly calm on the radio and didn't cross my mind until probably the white flag that we had a shot at winning it, and had to have a good last lap basically at that point. And hell, I almost threw it away off of turn two, so I would have looked like a fool if I'd have done that. It probably would have been highlights for the wrong reasons at that point. But it was definitely a momentum booster for our team. We really needed that at the time last year, as we need something right now. We've been struggling this year for about the past 4 weeks now. I'd say 5 weeks, and started the year off good. Thought we were going to be in good shape, and just kind of hit a wall and have not progressed at all. So. We could use another good night like that here this weekend, but it definitely last year helped give us a bump of momentum, a little bit of a boost, and helped the month of May go a little smoother. I think we've got some ideas, and we're working on a lot of stuff. It's been a situation where we just got behind as to why we've hit this wall a little bit right now, and we've got to keep working on our stuff and making it better and coming up with new ideas. And we have a great relationship with RCR, and a lot of times when we're struggling, we can lean on them and help make our stuff better. Unfortunately, right now, they're probably not quite as quick as they'd like to be either at the moment, so it's tougher for us to lean on them like we normally would. But even our qualifying's been off this year. Last year, it seemed like we could qualify, and even if we're having a bad weekend, we could at least lay a lap down there, and that would help out at the start of the races because, as these things go 150 green flag laps at the start, if you start 30th, or even 25th, you're in trouble really quick the way that it strings out for losing that first lap. So we've got a few different areas that we're focused on working on, and overall we need more speed. Thanks.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Clark from SBNation.com. I think I saw maybe in Ryan McGee's story or something, you said you were going to go check out your parking spot here with your name on it as soon as you got here. Did you get a chance to do that yet, and what was the experience like for you seeing your name?
I haven't done it yet, actually. So I got here a little bit later than I thought I would last night. I rode down with somebody else and haven't had a chance to go over there. I'm definitely going to at some point. I remember the first time, some of the first times I was coming here, and I saw those, and I just assumed it was reserved for past champions or something like that. I didn't realize at the time it was for past race winners, and I'll be interested to get over there and check that out. Just it's kind of quirky, but for me, that was one of the earliest memories I had of coming to Darlington, was seeing those names up there and wondering why they were there.
Where's the next question? David, raise your hand. David, Lauren.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. Regan, I think it was Denny last week. You talked about the pavement here and how maybe the grip level might be going away a little bit. Can you talk about what it's like out there now compared to the last couple of years? Are you seeing any erosion in that on this track surface?
Well, I think it's definitely slowly getting back to where it was, before they repaved it, from a standpoint of how wore out it is, and it'll take years. I don't know how many years exactly it's been since the repave. It's got to be what, '07 or '08 maybe, since the repave. So, we're only on the 5th year on this asphalt, 6th year maybe, give or take. I'm not sure the exact numbers, and it takes time. I would say by year 10 we'll be back to good old Darlington, where it just chews the tires apart. The way the summers and the sand and stuff is down here, but even now, it's the first year we came, you could have run the same set of tires for the whole race. Now you're having to think about it, and you're having to say, okay, it's going to be quicker with tires, but what's the risk reward to pitting or whatever, and that was a situation we found last year. So I know we all enjoy racetracks where the tires wear out. And where strategy plays out from that standpoint of, if you run hard on your tires for the first 10 laps, you might pay for it for the next 20 or vice versa. That's as drivers, I think that's what 90% of us look for in a tire, in a racetrack, in a total combination, total package. And it'll be just like that very soon, if it isn't already this time. Looking at it as we're leaving the infield this morning for some stuff, it's lightened up considerably since last year even, and that's only 1 year's time.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Thomas Popefield, Observer. Regan, in addition to just trying to find more speed in the car, how much of a mental strain is there, or is there a mental strain within the team when you struggle like that, and how do you guys try to not let that affect your performance?
Well, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a mental strain. We all want to do good. We're racers because we're passionate about racing, and we want to be up front, and we want to win, and we want to compete. So there's always a certain mental aspect to if you're going through a struggle. I think it's how you handle that mental aspect as a team that that really separates you and says, okay, this is a team that's strong and it's built for the long haul, or this is a team that's going to crumble and people are going to start pointing fingers, and we've worked really hard to make sure that doesn't happen within our situation. The reality is we've had some bad weeks, but at the same time we go to Talladega, which we feel like would have been a momentum builder for us, and blow engine on lap 16 or whatever it was, and it's just one hit after another. I remember saying after Richmond, I'm like, okay, well, at least we've hit rock bottom here, and it's not going to get any worse. It's got to get better from this point on. I'll never say that again in my racing career, because we got to Talladega and it got worse. So it's a mental strain, but you have to stick together too.
Other questions? Right here, front row, Craig. Man from WBTW.
Colin Gasquet, WBTW. How much do you draw on last year's win as far as things like strategy go and things like that?
Well, I think it'll be tougher to draw on strategy, because I think given that situation at the end of the race, more people will probably stay out and realize that the air was pretty important. Clean air was pretty important. So the strategy is kind of going to be ever evolving. Each race plays out its own way, and we'll have to see what this one takes, the course-wise for strategy. I know, if you look at this year as a whole, there's been a lot more green flag racing, and that's going to change the strategy considerably in its own right. So from that standpoint, we don't take a ton. This is a new year, it's a new race. But from a setup standpoint, at least we know we've got a setup that was strong last year here. If maybe some of the newer stuff we're trying or something we're playing with doesn't work, we can fall back on it and still have a fast race car.